In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to make six figures telling my story, packaging up my story, and selling it over and over, and exactly how you can too if you want. But I want to give you a little bit of background about me. And I'm pretty sure if you've been looking for a way to make money online, you've been coming across so many different things as far as drop shipping, online business coaching, online coaching, right? Digital marketing, digital products. You probably have heard a conglomerate of all this stuff, affiliate marketing. You might have even gotten involved with a few of them and things like that. But I just want to let you know that this is probably by far one of the best ways to make money, one of the coolest ways to make money, one of the easiest ways to make money. And when I say easy, I'm not saying that it's not going to require work. It's just, I'll explain what I mean by easy in just a second here. But that is learning how to package your story into a product. And I've never really heard it like this. And you're probably even wondering, so what did you do? Just magically come up with this? No, I've actually been doing it since 2024. And somebody said it a different way for me to look at this. And I was like, holy shit, this is exactly what I'm doing, which is interesting because I always talked about packaging your own stuff up in a digital product. But I didn't even think about like, holy crap, that's just my story, right? That's my know-how. That's what I know. That's what I'm good at, right? And when you hear people talk about digital products, don't worry, this is not a sales pitch for digital products. I love digital products, okay? And the reason why I always was fascinated with digital products is because the margins are crazy. The fact that you don't have to go to the post office, you don't have to ship anything, inventory, you don't have to deal with manufacturers. You can just create it all online from the comfort of your home, and then you can go out there and sell it. And when I first saw it, I was like, okay, it makes money. I didn't know how much money it can make, but it makes sense, right? People want to buy information. They want to buy information because they want answers to their problems. They want to buy information because they don't want to Google all damn day and search for it or pay thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to go back to school. I mean, obviously, for certain career choices, yes, but just to learn something that they can learn really quickly and start applying it so they can get the answer to their problem. You know what I mean? And I thought this was very fascinating. But when you hear digital products or digital marketing, generally what people will do is resell other people's know-how, which is fine because they don't feel like they have the know-how yet. So they need to sell somebody else's know-how just to make some money. And that's great. That's how I started. In 2023, I was reselling digital products. I was reselling somebody else's digital product, and I made a lot of money. But in the end of 2023, something was calling me to do something more. And I felt like I wanted to talk about some of the things that I went through. See, in 2021, or actually, we'll take it back a little bit farther. I'm a felon and all that good stuff, right? I wasn't going up the corporate ladder. I did make it up to becoming a gym manager. And in 2020, during the pandemic, gyms were all closed. And I was kind of left, and I was in California at the time, which was crazy. And I was left like just kind of a little bit down, a little bit depressed, just a little bit like, why can't I figure this online stuff out? Why can't I have more out of life? And I started to turn around and look at myself in the mirror for once and realizing it wasn't some outside thing that I really needed to change, right? And this isn't going to be one of those speeches, in this particular video, but you do need to start within here, right? And this is one of the things I wanted to share because I started working on me. And then when 2022 came around, I came back to Texas and I was kind of working like with my brother and all that stuff. But I wanted to give a good go at this online thing again because my mindset was completely different. And I first started with affiliate marketing and I made a little bit of money, but it wasn't like really something that I was getting behind, right? And a couple of the products that I was selling were just like later on turned out to be bullshit. And it really kind of made me mad that I didn't really like the fact that my name was on stuff that just turned out to be bullshit. But then I got into digital marketing and I can't say that the product was 100% right where I wanted to go, but the community they established and the training that they established with this product, I was like, wow, I really did get behind that, because I was like, anybody could actually come in here and actually make this work. And so I got behind it and I ran with it. But I think it was the combination of a great mindset plus a great opportunity. That's when everything worked out for me, because I saw a lot of people with the same great opportunity, but they weren't making things happen. So towards the end of 2023, I started really sharing what was really going on with me, mindset. And in fact, the program that I was selling, reselling, they asked me to do some trainings because I was doing really well. And my first training was like, yeah, this is exactly how you market on TikTok, and here you go, right? And that did very well. And it's still in that group to this day, right? But I also did another training in there. And the reason why I did the other training is because I felt like, hey, let me give you guys the real stuff, the stuff behind the scenes that nobody really talks about. And I started talking about mindset. And little did I know that I had a huge passion for doing that. And I decided to say, you know what, why don't I create, my own product around that, around things that I like to talk about, that I went through, that I learned, that I pulled myself out of the gutter, to miraculously change my life. You know what I mean? To where now, I make damn good money. I drive a Corvette, and I coach a lot of people and help a lot of people and sell a lot of products. And it's just like, and that's crazy that that happened, within this, couple of years span, to where, I just came back from California. I didn't really have much to go off of, you know what I mean? Kind of reestablishing myself again, to then quickly now, making six figures, which is just, insane. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'll be a seven figure earner very, very soon. And so I started telling people, I started sharing my community, my app, right, to help people with my personal story. And what really woke me up was somebody was in my app because they wanted help with their digital marketing program. They were reselling a course. And here was the craziest thing about it. They loved jewelry. They had a jewelry store, like they did everything jewelry. And it broke my heart because this person was reselling this digital product. And I said, why are you reselling this digital product when your love is jewelry? And they said, well, because I want to do this so I can learn how to sell my jewelry better. But what do you think they were doing? They were just trying to market that for money, right? They needed the money more than trusting in themselves to follow their passion and to sell their passion. And I think that's what happens to a lot of us, right? So when you hear like that you can make six figures for story, you're intrigued, but you're like, can I really? Is my story really significant? Is my know-how significant? And I'm here to tell you today it is. And bless that lady's heart if she was standing back in front of me. At the time I didn't know, because I just wanted to help her sell her product, that I wasn't even thinking that I would have gave her the straight up truth and said, drop this shit and go sell your jewelry. Jewelry, you love jewelry. Jewelry is your life. And that's what I think all of you guys need to understand, that we live in a time where AI can make a digital product with the drop of a dime. So pretty soon, nobody's going to really want to buy certain products because they know AI made it, and they could just go to straight to the source and get it for free, right? But when you tell your story and your personal know-how, it's completely different, because people then don't want to know how to do it. They just want to know how you did it. And that's the difference maker. And that's something that AI cannot replicate. Even when I see it in their marketing, the AI is very vague. And yeah, you might say, okay, but AI is going to get better. It will, but it's still going to be vague because it doesn't really have a story to tell, right? Even if it got the majority of your story correctly because of all the information you gave it, it still wouldn't be able to pinpoint your story. You see what I'm saying? But the craziest thing out of all this is we don't even understand the amount of money that we're sitting on with our own talents, gifts, and our know-how. And if you're one of those people that you like creating music, go create music. And, I don't know if this is the video for you, but if you're just a person that says, you know what, Justin, I don't know if I really have anything exciting to share, I would say you're a liar. Okay. And I want you to break it down like this. I want you to identify, okay? I want you to go through and identify a viable story of yours in your life where maybe you've just accomplished something, you achieved something, or you know how to do something, you know how to maybe overcome something that maybe your friends have told you that you're really good at. Maybe it's something that you like to talk about all damn day, but not only talk about it, you actually live it and you've overcome it. And I'm going to tell you right now, the thing that you probably think nobody would care about, they really do. I don't know how many times that I felt like I put on a training and I was like, that training was basic, huh? And people were blown away because what I found to be easy, they found that a little bit hard to understand. Do you understand? You get what I'm saying? And so, even if you think it's nothing, it's a little thing that I do, that little thing that you do is big to somebody else out there. Okay. Once you kind of write that down, I'm going to lead you into step number two. Map a transformation that you can make in about a 4 to 6 step framework, right? What I mean by this is we want to be able to try to break it down and teach it to somebody else. And if you can put it in within about 4 to 6 steps and elaborate on those steps, then you have something already. You would be amazed, okay? Step number three, if you do not know how to build a digital product or anything, that is perfectly fine. If you know how to do like a Zoom call, you're in the game, right? You can start going and pre-sell this like on your social media accounts, to all your messages, to all your friends, your list and everything, and tell them that you are going to teach, how to do this thing and, and package it up for maybe a price, and it could be like, as simple as $49 or $100, right? And if you go get 5 people to join this, right, you made $500, right? It's crazy. But from there, you can then take that recording, which is step 4, and now learn how to just package it by using maybe either beacons, stand stores, something of that nature. Package it up so you can take more payments and you can just resell this recording over and over. So you deliver it live to those people that paid for it, you keep it recorded, and now you have something that you can sell over and over and over again. And then from there, step 5 is scale it, go out there and continue to deliver value, create a YouTube channel, or anything of that nature. And, and that's just a quick step on how you can do it with the least minimum amount of know-how. But the idea is this: if you have done something in your life, you have enough to be able to make money from. In fact, at the time, yes, I got lucky and made 6 figures reselling digital products. So I had something major that I could offer to people. The funny thing is, if you were to come into my app at that time, I wasn't really offering that. I was offering more mindset and personal development to help you build your business. And what started out as a gap that I saw in the industry, and really it wasn't even a gap, it was just something that I wanted to talk about because it was my story, because I figured like this is what really made me successful. Later on became a product that I could sell over and over and over, and I was helping people overcome certain things that they were going through, to then they would go off and blossom in their digital marketing business, or they would create their own digital products or anything of that nature, right? I have some people that gone on to create their own memberships, their own courses, their own ebooks, their own guides. I mean, and that's the thing. When I gave you the steps earlier, that's just a sliver of things that you can do, right? That's if you like. That's the bare minimum thing that you can do with like maybe no money or no audience really yet. But the other thing that you could do is package this up in an ebook or a guide or a course or a membership site, create a brand new YouTube account. We show you how to do that as well. In fact, we're doing a 5-day YouTube challenge where you can take your idea and turn it into a channel. right? And that's going on inside of my app to where then you could go launch this thing based around your know-how. Now, earlier, I want to rewind this really quick because I said this is one of the easiest ways to get paid. And I didn't mean that in a way that you weren't going to be able to do, you're still going to have to do some work, but hear me out really quick. If you woke up every day, and this is what made me really think about this, okay? If you woke up every day to talk about your story and what you've overcome and things that you like to talk about, is that even really work? And this is where I, I said, somebody said it, and then I said it to myself out loud, and it has changed the trajectory of my business here recently. That my goal is to help as many people as I possibly can, right? Learn how to become the best version of themselves, take their story, package it, and tell their story and sell that story. Because then you're waking up every day being you. You're waking up every day talking about the things that you love to talk about. And I don't think ever in a time have we been able to really do that. It's usually always like studying the marketplace and offering this or take hot products. And by any means, I'm not saying that in the very beginning, you're not going to have your own hurdles, right? And you might even find people that are like, I don't really need help with that, right? Because they're kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? So you're going to teach me how to bake a cake. I know how to bake a cake, right? You probably know how to bake the world's best, carrot cake in the world, right? I don't know. Maybe you're so damn good at it. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, there are people out there that would want to learn. And as long as you're offering value, they will learn from you. And even though they could go chat GBT that carrot cake, you know what I mean, or a recipe, or Google it online, or even YouTube it, or find it in another cookbook, you will be amazed that people at the end of the day will want to learn it from you. Do you think I'm the only one that teaches people how to create digital products? Do you think I'm the only one that teaches people mindset? But when they heard that a felon has overachieved, his or changed his mindset to let his world, reflect, and now he drives a Corvette and he's doing different things with his life, they just wanted to hear my story. They wanted to see how I did it. I don't know how many people I've come across where when I heard their story, I just wanted to see how they did it. So, listen, if this intrigues you to learn how to be able to tell your story, package your story up, right? Or package your story up, I should say, tell your story and make money off of your story, then I invite you to join my app. Click the link below, get inside my app. There's a 90-day run that is unraveling right now, but we will help you become the best version of you. Learn how to package up your story, your know-how, things that you already love to talk about or know all about. How to then, actually go off and tell that story, right? And build an audience around that story and make money with that story. Isn't that crazy? So listen, I don't know. My name is Justin Springer. If that helped you, go ahead and click the link below, and I'll see you on the inside.